When we were mapping out this conference and deciding our speakers to invite, we wanted to end the session on a positive note and looking forward to the future. So I'm really pleased that Dean van Leeuwen, who's co-founder of Tomorrow Today, has agreed to finish our conference for us. I hope you'll enjoy his presentation. I've seen it and it's very thought-provoking. So over to you, Dean. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. It's lovely to see you, and I hope the hangovers aren't too bad after last night's party. So what I want to do today is I want to show you the fascinating, the exciting, and even the scary world that I see every day. And if a picture tells a story of 1,000 words, now I guess this is what we're going to be doing for the next 45 minutes. We're going to be lifting up the curtain, and we're going to look at how the world is changing. We're going to look at 5 disruptive forces changing the world of work. Now, I've been called a futurist, but I'm not the kind of futurist who can tell you what the price of oil will be in 2020. I certainly can't tell you what the price of fish oil or fish meal will be in 2020. If I could, I wouldn't be here. I'd probably be sitting on an island somewhere enjoying the sun. There are easier ways to make a living. But I am going to try and make this prediction. Now, this is the other futurist iconic moment when we have flying cars. And I am going to take a stab at predicting that one. And I'm going to get my crystal ball. Every respectable futurist has a crystal ball. And I'm going to stare into it. And it is telling me that we are going to have flying cars by the year 2011. That's right, you heard correctly. We now have flying cars. And what you can see here on the screen is a flying car that was approved to drive on American roads and fly in American airspace last year. Now, it's a little bit more of a driving plane than a flying car, but hopefully you can get the message I'm sending out to you. The future is happening all around us, but often at the fringes. And as leaders and leaders of your businesses and your industry, you need to be looking at the fringes. You need to be stepping back from your day-to-day jobs to understand these changes, these disruptive forces that are changing the world. We live in a fast, complex, fast-changing world, and we need to take time out of our businesses to understand these disruptive forces. I do predict that we are living in a time that is going to have as great an impact as the Industrial Revolution. The recession, the credit crisis, is merely a tipping point indicating to us that we are moving towards this period of dramatic revolutionary time. And you can see these inflection moments in history. Every 150, every 200 years, the world changes dramatically. Social forces combine to just reshape the world. And I predict that we are living during one of those periods. And that has an important implication for you as leaders. Because it means if I'm correct, if this prediction is correct, then you can't go back to your businesses and take last year's strategy and add 10%. You can't go back and look at what you do best and just carry on improving on that. Because in a world that has changed, the surest way to fail is just to continue doing the same things over and over again, using yesterday's logic. The reality is the world has changed and is changing rapidly. Now, change has an awful habit of creeping up on us, sometimes unnoticed if we're not scanning the horizon, if we're not looking for those indicators of what is changing. Now, you may be like these two fishermen. You may be so good at your jobs that you can do your job half asleep. But every now and again, you hear a bump or a noise, you read a headline in a newspaper, and you recognize that things are going to get very interesting in your industry. don't identify those disruptive forces, you have to bail out. I want to share with you a model that we've created to help business leaders to scan the horizon and ask the important strategic questions that they need to be asking, to identify and understand what the disruptive forces are, what the threats are, and what are the opportunities. And we've called it the tides of change.